President Obama keeps insisting that ISIS is not Islamic. Well, maybe they don't practice the Muslim faith the same way he does. But if vast numbers of Muslims across the world believe, and they do, that humans deserve to die for merely holding a different idea, or drawing a cartoon, or writing a book, or eloping with the wrong person, not only does the Muslim world have something in common with ISIS, it has too much in common with ISIS.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. Big show ahead of us, but joining us right now is Anjem Choudary. You know him from London, Islamic activist. He was recently arrested by British authorities. Mr. Choudary, I appreciate you joining us. I want to get right to it. First of all, that was Bill Maher. I know you couldn't see who was saying that. Do you believe that everything he said? I mean, is that true? That most Muslims, or do you believe that if you disagree with someone's religion, if they're the wrong religion, they won't convert, if they marry the wrong person, if they draw the Prophet Muhammad in an offensive way, that they should die?
Actually, I think all human beings want to live side by side in peace. Muslims are no different. And in fact, if you look in the heart of Europe, we live together, Jews, Muslims,
I know. Mr. Choudary, I've heard you a zillion times. I've talked to you in the past. That's not what I asked. Do you believe that anybody who draws a cartoon that's offensive or makes fun of the Prophet Muhammad, or if somebody marries out of the faith of Islam, or is offensive in other ways, the ways that Mr. Maher listed, that they should die? Do you believe that?
Well, that statement is not true. I mean, I can break it down. If someone insults the honor of the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then that carries in Islam capital punishment, and they should be tried in front of a Sharia court, and if found guilty, obviously that will be implemented. If someone marries outside of the religion, that doesn't count as capital punishment. For the person who commits fornication, in Islam, there is 100 lashes. If people are married and there is sufficient evidence that there's 4 eyewitnesses, whether you're male or female, that carries stoning to death. That's certainly true. But if you merely disagree with someone, we're all into debate and discussion. There's no problem with that.
All right, then why don't you live under those rules which are Islamic law in the Islamic countries that they practice it in, where the people want it, and where the people don't want it? In other words, if a country is not an Islamic country, if it's not Saudi Arabia and others, then let the other people live under the laws they live under. Why in Great Britain are you trying to institute Islamic law when it's not an Islamic country?
Actually, you know, all land belongs to God. And I was born in Britain. I grew up here. I've lived here 47 years of my life. There's no reason I should go anywhere else. Why can't I propagate Islam here?
I didn't say you should go anywhere else, but why should your law
let me answer the question.
But why should
let me answer the question.
Yeah,
take a break. Take a break. Let's not blow a fuse today.
I'm not blowing a fuse. I'm very calm.
Let me answer the question. You're having a hernia there. Let me answer the question. The fact is that I was born here. I propagate something I believe is superior to the British way of life. I would love for the people to embrace Islam as a way of life. And for your information, we have 55 so-called Muslim countries. None of them implement the Sharia. The only place that is actually implementing the whole of the Sharia is the Islamic State. And by the way, my passport was taken from me on Friday, so I can't travel. So it looks like I'm stuck here, implementing the Sharia right here under the noses of the British.
All right, is ISIS Islamic? Is the President of the United States wrong when he says the Islamic State is not Islamic? Are they?
Well, actually, they implement the Sharia internally, and they're carrying it to the world externally as a foreign policy. There's a lot of propaganda against them. There's a lot of lies being told about the Yazidis and the Christians. You know, Barack Obama tells a lot of lies, but the fact is that they do implement the Sharia. They're providing the basic needs of the people. They have security there. So I can see that they have the structure of the Khilafah in place.
So they are Islamic?
Well, from my own perspective, they are. But I'm sure the information that you've been fed is probably not Islamic, and it's probably much propaganda against Muslims.
Well, is it Islamic to execute people by shooting them in the head? Is it Islamic to execute innocent journalists and aid workers on videotape? Is that Islamic?
Are we talking about Guantanamo Bay and waterboarding?
They don't. Well, first of all, time out. We waterboard our own soul. Wait. We waterboard.
No, wait a second. Are we talking about Muslims in Guantanamo Bay?
I'm answering your question. You asked me what we're talking about. We waterboard our own troops.
Talk about that. Let's talk about.
If you're comparing beheading to waterboarding, then there's no point in talking, sir.
Why did you kill Abdurrahman Awlaki in cold blood? Can I ask you that question? Was he not American enough?
Because
he had an American passport.
Because he was a terrorist, sir.
No. We're talking about his son. You don't even know your own facts. His son is 16 years old. He's not a terrorist. He was playing with his friends when you drowned him.
Well, then you don't. Well, then you don't
Why'd you
use
kill him?
human
Why'd you
shields.
kill him?
Hey! Then you don't
yeah.
use human
Why'd you kill him?
shields, sir. You
Why did you kill
don't. If you're a terrorist, don't be
Yeah.
hanging
Oh, he was
out
a
with your
terrorist, was he?
son if you
Abdurrahman, I
don't
would
want
like
him to get
16-year-old
blown.
16-year-old boy
Okay,
was
that's
a
my
terrorist.
advice to you as you go
Was
through
he a
life.
terrorist?
All
What
right,
about the
thank
children
you,
in Gaza? Are they
Anjem
terrorists?
Choudary, ladies and gentlemen, who compares beheading innocent journalists to waterboarding, which, by the way, took place with one guy. And human shields will not fly in the United States. The panel's next.